Welcome, folks. I apologize. We have apparently a lawnmower or some other landscaping equipment. They thought it'd be a great idea to go ahead and landscape while I want to stream, so I sincerely apologize for that, folks. Really nothing I can do about that. So if you hear that, I really and sincerely apologize. But we're going to have an epic stream regardless, even if the landscapers want to go take over. So, what are we doing today? Probably a great question, right? We are doing Windows 11 on M1 Mac, UTM. And it's going to be pretty epic. So just give me about 2 or 3 minutes and we'll go ahead and launch this thing and get started and show you guys the complete procedure for installing Windows 11 on an M1 Mac using UTM. We are back, folks, and we're going to get started. So, welcome everyone. Again, I apologize for the loud noise. It is the landscapers at the apartment complex deciding that it'd be a great day to go and work on the apartment. So it is loud, but again, I apologize. Folks, this is going to be an awesome tutorial today. My name is Taylor, and this is the Techopolis YouTube channel. We are going to be doing UTM on M1 Mac. How to install Windows 11. Let me go ahead and get chat going, so if you guys want to chat, feel free to, I almost said raise your hand. I've been doing Clubhouse and Twitter all day. Feel free to go ahead and chat in the chat, and we will address those as we're going to set up this VM today. So, hopefully y'all are doing great today. I'm doing pretty well. It's a pretty good day here in Austin. Can't complain. And yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. So, all right, let's go ahead and get out of there for just a second. Okay, so let me get the chat going, and then we will. Okay, I had it all saved up, and of course it wanted to get rid of itself. So, story of our lives here, right? All right. Looks like we have a couple people watching us, which is awesome. Welcome, folks. And it's going to be a good stream. We're going to set up a live virtual machine today. So, we're going to be setting up a machine that will have some basic stuff on it. It will be able to be used for people who are blind. It will have screen reader, NVDA, and that kind of thing. So, that's what we're going to be doing today. Alright, let me... Got my streaming link here. And yeah, so, how are y'all doing today? Let's see how you guys are doing. Alright. Here we go. I see we got 2 people watching us now. If you're here, say hi. And yeah. But if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. I see we have 105 subscribers. That's awesome. Fierce Abueda says hello. I'm good, Fierce Abueda. Again, I really apologize if I'm butchering your name. It seems like you're a frequent fan of Techopolis. I'm glad that you've been coming to our streams. It's been awesome to see you and interacting with the chat, so thank you. Feel free to, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. I think you are, though. But again, folks, he's been here a lot, so I really appreciate that. Michael and I all do as well. So, let's get this party started, shall we? You think that'd be a good idea? I do. Alright. Oh. Alright. Let's see. I'm great, Fierce Abueda. I'm great. I am doing pretty well today. It's, like I said, a pretty nice day in Austin. I can't really complain. And I'm just loving it. It's great. It's a Saturday, which means I'm off of work, so everything is good here. That is good. Everything is good, and it is awesome. So, do we want to get started? Everyone ready? Alright, let's do it. If you're not subscribed, or if you want to share this with your friends, that is also awesome. That will be appreciated. Let's get the word out about Techopolis. Alright, folks, let's start the screen sharing. So for this first part, I'm not going to share my sound, as it will be slightly annoying. But once we go into the accessibility portion of today's tutorial, I will share my screen. But because we're going to be doing the setup, I'm not going to share my screen as of yet. So, sound good? Alright, let's do it. Alright, so what are we doing today? What is our objective? Our objective is to get a Windows 11 virtual machine up and running for a user of an M1 Mac. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting up a program called UTM. And UTM is a graphical user interface application for Mac. And it is specialized to run on Mac hardware only. And what it is it runs off of QEMU or QEMU, however you say that. It's always hard to say. But what it is, it's a Linux utility that has been used to make virtual machines in Linux, for example, for Windows. And usually it's a command line utility, so it's invoked via a terminal of some sort. And it allows you to make VMs, virtual machines, by virtualizing or emulating the hardware. Basically meaning that it can run on the native hardware as well, and or it could run on a different hardware, which is called emulation, which is slower. So there's virtualization and emulation. Emulation. Is that a word? I guess it is now. So that is a little bit about what QEMU is. And if you want to know more about that, I can go ahead and throw something in the chat later on. But basically, it is what we're going to be using. But don't worry, you're not going to have to know a lot of terminal commands. In fact, you're not going to have to know any terminal commands. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be showing you how to make a UTM virtual machine that run Windows 11 fully successfully. All right? Any questions about that before I continue? Any thoughts? Any concerns? Anything I should be aware of before we show you guys how it's done? Because I'm super excited. I can't wait. Let's see. Any thoughts? Let me just check over chat real fast and see if I have any thoughts. And if I don't, that's fine. But if I do... Alright. I don't see any any thoughts or any chatters. So let's go ahead and get this party started. All right. First things first, you're going to need UTM. UTM comes in two flavors. There's a flavor from the Mac App Store, which costs $9.99, so $9.99. And there's also a free version on the UTM website. The only difference that Michael and I have been able to find is that the UTM on the Mac App Store comes with the updates where you can get the auto updates from the Mac App Store. And the other difference is that you're helping support the UTM project. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using the free version just because I said I would in the description and the title. So we're going to be using the free version of UTM today. Along with the free version of UTM, you're going to need a couple other things. So let's go over what you're going to need. You're going to need a Windows 11 ARM because this is a ARM architecture. And so you're going to need the Windows 11 ARM VHDX file, a virtual hard disk for Hyper-V, basically. You're going to need to download that from the Microsoft Insider website. You're also going to need something called Spice Guest Tools, which is what's going to provide you the network drivers and the other drivers to make your virtual machine work effectively. Don't worry, I'm going to show you guys how to do all of this in the tutorial today, but that is just a high-level overview of what you're going to need. In addition, if you are an accessibility user who cares about assistive technology, who needs your NVDA or JAWS or narrator, you are going to need a couple other components. Carabiner Elements is an open source library, or not library, but application, where it will emulate the insert key for you in terms of making it caps lock. So basically, because caps lock interacts differently on the Mac than it does Windows, Carabiner helps to make sure that you can use that caps lock key as an insert key for Windows. So you're going to need Carabiner Elements version 14. Again, I will provide a link in the description after the stream is over. So those are a bit of a high-level overview of what we're going to need today. Do I have any questions from chat before we go ahead and start the process? Anyone curious? If I don't, that's fine, but I just want to ensure that I don't have any questions. And I will just give it a couple seconds and make sure that there are no questions. If there are, I will answer them. If not, I will continue to move on. Okay, let's see. Let me just make sure. I don't see any more chatters. All right, let's start the process, folks. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the UTM website and download it. Now, to save you all some sanity, at least I think I have it downloaded. We're going to see. If I don't, I guess you'll get to see the whole process. To save you all sanity, I have downloaded the UTM before. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab the UTM and I'm going to install it. So first we have to install UTM. Let me make sure I have it. If I don't, I will go grab it from the website. I think I have it in my downloads folder somewhere. I have utm.gmg. So you're going to click on utm.gmg, assuming you have it installed. If you don't, pause the video, go download UTM. You could just type in UTM in Google. Let me go demonstrate real quick for y'all. I'm just going to open up a new tab here. UTM download. Oops, there we go. This is the website. This is what it will look like. And I'll go ahead and throw this link in chat while I'm at it. So you'll go to download, and you can download the UTM from here. Okay? So it's just a link. Go to download, and you should be able to find UTM. All right? Any questions on the UTM download? Let me put this in this chat here. Oh, you know what? I guess I'm not going to put it in chat right now because I'm not signed in. Classic. All right. Well, UTM. We've got UTM. Okay. So UTM is installed, or at least it's downloaded. Next thing we have to do is install UTM. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go and click on this DMG. This is the application for UTM. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to copy and paste this into your applications folder or drag and drop. And that way you can be able to run it from your applications folder. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Command-Shift-A if you're on Mac, which I assume you all are. I'm just going to paste this UTM here. And I'm going to go to UTM, open it. And I'm going to open up UTM. It says Safari downloaded this from the internet. Da, 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 da. All right. And I'm going to, there we go. I'm now in the UTM window. So our next step is to create a new virtual machine. And before I create a new virtual machine, though, I want to ask if anyone has any questions. Is anyone clear or everyone clear on what they need to do? So let's do a recap. In case you're new to this stream, we are doing a UTM installation showing you how to install Windows 11 on your M1 Mac using the UTM program, which is free. So far, what we have done, we have went ahead and downloaded UTM. Also, we have talked about the components we need. Recap, Spice guest tools for network and other OS drivers, Windows 11 for ARM, Insider Preview, so you will have to be a Microsoft Windows Insider in order to get this, and you'll have to get the ARM64 architecture if you are a 64-bit machine, as well as if you are a user of assistive technology, you will need the carabiner elements to emulate the caps lock key. So if everyone is clear, then let's go ahead and install and get a virtual machine ready. Does that sound good? Okay. Let's just check chat, and we will be off on our way. All right, chat's good. I'm going to close my applications folder. I don't need that at the moment. I'm going to press, whoops, close that. Close this. We're just getting rid of some files here. I'm going to press Command-N. And there's a couple different options, so let's go through this screen. So I pressed Command-N. Command-N will simply create a new virtual machine, so it's just a shortcut. So let's go ahead and go to the top of this window, and I will show you guys what you have to do, okay? So if we're starting from the top, first option, I want to, and it gives you two options, emulate, virtualize. Let's recap what these do. So emulate basically will use your native architecture. It's a lot faster because it's using your native metal, I guess, components. And what it will do is it's pure, almost like you're running another machine, right? It's basically using the native hardware, the native architecture, and it's a lot faster. The next option is virtualize, where you can run other architectures, for example, but it's going to be a lot slower, so it will only not be able to be as fast because you're not running the native. So in this case, because we want performance, I'm going to go ahead and virtualize, okay? Yes, I'm going to go ahead and virtualize, and I'm not going to emulate because emulate is slower. Virtualize is faster, emulate slower, so I'm going to go ahead and press emulate, or virtualize. Our next step is our operating system. So in this case, another thing you can do is you can install Mac OS, and you can use this for the betas, right? So if you want to test out betas of Mac OS, you can go ahead and do that. But what we're going to do today is we're going to actually test out Windows. Meaning, not test out Windows, but we're going to actually make a production-ready machine on Windows, right? So the thing we're going to do is we're going to select Windows from this list. Next, we have a little tip here that says if you need to download Windows 11, go to this link, da 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 da. It took about 15 minutes for mine to finish downloading. To save you guys the pain of having to do that and having to watch me wait for my internet to download this, I've already done this for y'all, but you will need to do it for yourself if you haven't already. But I've already done this for the tutorial for today, but it is a thing that you will have to do. So you'll have to sign into your Windows Insider account, or you'll have to make sure that to sign up for a Windows Insider if you are not an insider already, and you will have to go ahead and download the Windows Insider build. For ARM, you don't want to do the other one for like Intel because this is the ARM architecture, it's the M1 chip, so the other versions will not work. So make sure it's for ARM, okay? All right, so next step, we're going to go ahead and browse. I'm going to browse for a file, for the VHDX file. .vhdx, I just press enter on that. And next, let's see. It's just giving me a hint to install Spice Guest Tools, which we're going to do. Our next setup instructions are very important. So this is where we have to allocate resources for our VM. A typical rule of thumb that I like to follow, folks, is I like to actually do where I have half of my computer's resources on the VM, half of it on the host. So in VM terminology, we've got the guest, which is your VM, and the host, which is your host operating system, okay? So typically when we're talking about virtual machines, you've got your guest. Again, your guest is like your OS you're virtualizing, so Windows in this case is our guest OS. And then you've got your host, which is the operating system that you're currently on, which is Mac OS in my case, okay? So there's two commonly used terms, there's guest and host. And in virtualization, you want to make sure that you have half of the resources for your guest, half of them for your host. So if you have half of them for your guest, half of them for your host, that will ensure that things are balanced on all sides, that one of them won't have more resources than the other. And the cool thing about UTM is that it automatically figures out how much you have on each of your things, and it automatically, in this case for me, I'm not sure if it always does this, but it always splits it in half. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the default configuration alone, because this is exactly what I would do too. I would split what I have half and half in order to create the VM, okay? So it's always a half rule. Do I have anyone in chat? And if I have anyone in chat, do I have any questions? Because I just want to make sure that y'all are following along. So let me go ahead and check out chat a minute and see if I've got chat. Let's see. I don't think I have chat. Nope. Okay. Okay, so chat, you guys are quiet today if you're here. Okay, so I don't have any chatters. I just wanted to always make sure of that, because that's always important. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and hit next. So next. And our next options are for sharing. So this is pretty important, because what this will allow you to do is share files and folders back and forth between your Mac OS and your Windows, okay? And so this is really important because you can put folders and files in here. Asajev Workcloud, we have a chatter, asked what hardware are we talking about? So Asajev, typically when we're talking about hardware, we're talking about the computer that we're currently running it on, right? So we're talking about for example, my M1 Mac with 8 gigs of RAM and the processor cores, like that kind of thing. So we're talking about the computer. So the hardware is the computer that you're running it on. And a rule of thumb, like I was saying a minute ago, is to split it in half. So split the hardware resources in half. So if you got 4 CPU cores, have 2 for the VM, 2 for the host, right? Or 2 for the guest, 2 for the host. If you've got 8, like in this case, I think I do, then I would already have it as 4 and 4. So the hardware is the computer or the device that you're running the virtual machine on. So does that kind of make sense? Okay. Any more chatters? Any more questions? Again, I'm sorry if this lag is a little bit much today because I don't have the restream. I don't have our normal setup because we are setting up a VM for the first time. So that's kind of why we're a little bit lagging today. But again, hopefully it makes sense. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Back to what I was saying about sharing. So sharing will allow you to share files between your Mac and your PC. And I like to choose a directory where I can have files and folders that I want to share between both. Awesome. Cool. Roger that. Awesome. That's Jeff. And so I like to have it where I can share files and folders. That way I can be able to communicate with both. I don't want to have it so isolated. I want to be able to have it integrated because that's obviously why I want a VM in the first place, right? Is because I want to integrate my two systems. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a folder that I want as my shared folder. And for this demonstration, actually what I'm going to do is normally I'd actually choose my Google Drive because my Google Drive is where I want all of my stuff pretty much, right? My Google Drive is kind of my second home on the web, right? I've got my computer's hard drive, but really I want everything back up to the cloud. But since I didn't have Google Drive when I reinstalled macOS yesterday, what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to share it with my documents or my downloads, and you can actually change this later on. So let's go ahead and show this how it works. And another thing you can do is you can have it be a read-only share where you can only have things go one way. I don't want to do that because I honestly want to have things go both ways, where I can copy and paste things, or I can put things in the folder and it will sync across. Okay. So, I'm going to go browse for shared directory. Let's see. I'm going to actually, let's see. I could share my iCloud drive. Let's just share documents for now, my whole documents. So once I find the directory I want to share, I'm just going to press this little open button here. Open. All right. And it's going to make sure that that's going to work. So basically the documents folder is currently our shared directory, which is fine. And what it will do is it will mount that shared directory as a network location on your VM. Okay, and we'll get to all that in a little bit. So don't worry if you're confused on that. Do I have any questions about shared directories? Anybody confused about why you'd want to do that? Or maybe you're running into a problem, maybe for following along, who knows? But any questions about shared directories? I'll just give it a couple minutes and just see if we have any questions. Let me go check chat here, making sure that I don't miss anyone. Okay. All right, so I don't think I have any chatters. I was just making sure. So let's go ahead and proceed. And if I do, we will answer those questions in a little bit. So documents is our shared folder. I'm not going to check the read-only share because that will, again, mean it's a one-way street. And I don't want this to be a one-way street. I'm going to click next. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to review these other options. This is just kind of reviewing what your VM is going to have. So let's go review it. Windows. So you can change the VM's name. I'm going to actually change this to work because this VM is primarily going to be used for my job. So I'm going to set this up for accessibility testing and that kind of thing, okay? So I went into the detail view and I was able to change the name of this VM. And so I want to make sure that this is clear because maybe I'll set up a VM eventually for Windows Insider testing or for macOS beta testing. The possibilities are endless. And so I always want to give my VMs clear names, okay? Let's see, do I have anything else in here? Engine, I don't want to change any of this. QEMU, Use virtualization, ARM64, 4 gigabytes, 4 cores, 68.72 gigabytes. That's fine. I can always adjust this later on, but for now, I don't know that this VM is going to be huge, but it's just something to keep in mind. Operating systems, Windows, that's good. Disk image, we're good on there. Shared directory, read only, it's unchecked and it's dimmed. So that's the other thing too, is all these options are dimmed because it's going to be a review screen. And once I hit save, it will get ready to run. So I'm going to hit save now. And, oops. It's going to wait a second and it's not going to be ready to run yet. So I'm going to hit save. I already hit save and now it's just loading. And while it's loading, do I have any questions about the review screen as well as the VM process? Because from this point on, we're going to be configuring the virtual machine. So do I have any questions about this? And actually, this is going to be the time when I share my sound. So folks who may not be as familiar with the channel, I am legally blind. And so some of the viewers on this channel are also legally blind or visually impaired or some set of. As a result, accessibility is very important in my tutorials. And when accessibility is relevant, I like to highlight it in my tutorial videos. Because of this, we're going to be talking about the accessibility of the VM and talking about setting up narrator and that kind of things. So as a result, I like to share my sound, and that way everyone can participate in the tutorial. So everyone can be able to hear what's going on my screen, just because we're getting to the point now where we are going to have sound and we're going to be setting up our keys for NVDA and accessibility. So I hope that little disclaimer helps out, folks. And hopefully that is not too annoying for y'all. That does have one more consequence, though. When you're chatting, the chat will be read out by the speech system. So because I'm sharing my system audio, it will be read aloud. So if you have a chat message that you probably don't want to go to the entire group, I would not put it out because it will be read aloud on stream. So I just want to make that a little bit clear so that everyone is on the same page. Do I have any questions about what's going to happen in the next like 30 seconds or so? Any thoughts? Because if I don't, I'm going to go ahead and start this up now. And okay, I think we're good on the chatters. I always have to make sure because this system is a little bit less reliable than what I'd like, but that is okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share the sound, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. So just give me a couple seconds, folks, and we are going to get this show on the road.
Started screen zoom share toolbar window system dialog mute button group in dim system dialog content is empty in system dialog window. Content is empty. Your screen share Finder Google Chrome UTM toolbar UTM work table work QEMU6 table work QEMU 6.2 out vertical splitter.
Interact with the next table, so there's 2 tables.
Scroll area.
I'm going to interact with the second scroll area, so the first table, second scroll area interact.
Step run button.
I'm going to run it.
UTM
now it's
window.
Ready to go.
To virtual machine capture input. To capture input or to release the capture, press Command and Option at the same time.
Command and Option will capture input. So this is something very important that you'll need to know. Command and Option capture input. So basically what it will do is it'll lock your input so that way you won't accidentally go to your Mac by mistake. Another question that may be on your mind is, how do I know when this VM is ready to go? Great question. There's a trick in Mac OS called image descriptions, and what this will do is you can get the image description of the window or a control that may not be inherently accessible by pressing the VO or Command Option Shift L.
Detected document, possible text, getting ready.
And it will do kind of like an OCR, and it will say the description of the control if it has one. So right now I just said getting ready. And so I did that literally even though this thing is not accessible, okay? So that is a great trick in terms of accessibility, okay? So we're literally using our virtual machine, and we're also using our Mac OS for VoiceOver in order to know when our status is ready, okay? So any questions about the accessibility? Because right now what we're doing is we're booting into Windows, and we're going to go ahead and go through the setup process. And voila, you heard the sound. The awesome Windows 11 startup sound. What I'm going to do now is I need to set up my system. So in order to do that, I'm going to trigger narrator. In order to trigger narrator on Mac, it's going to be Control, Command, Enter, I believe.
Narrator dialog.
Yes, Control, Command, Enter.
Button. Alt plus O.
I'm going to press Option Tab
Narrator
or Alt Tab.
Microsoft.
Because on Windows, the Alt is Option on Mac. So the keys are actually reversed. So the Command is Windows and the Option is Alt. And all I did there was just put the narrator window to the side. That way I could set up my system. So now it's asking us for a language. I'm going to tab.
Country or region selection.
US.
Required. United States.
Enter.
1. Windows setup. Keyboard selection.
Keyboard selection.
Required.
US. Enter.
US. Skip adding a second keyboard layout. Button.
I don't want to add another keyboard layout, so I'm just going to press
Skip
Enter.
Windows setup. Just a moment.
Just a moment.
At level 2. Network connection flow
Now,
window.
Here's the trick. Make sure that you do not try to connect to Wi-Fi here. So you're going to have to continue with limited setup. The reason being is that there's going to be no networks available because you do not have the other drivers installed yet. And speaking of the other drivers, I was a bad Tay, and I forgot to mount them. So we're going to have to do that in the next step. That's okay. So make sure that you hit continue with limited setup, because you're not going to be able to get any Wi-Fi here because you don't have the Spice Guest tools, which is another component of what you're going to need for this UTM install. So you're going to need to make sure that you have your Windows Spice Guest tools available, and that'll be an ISO image that you mount into the CD or DVD drive on UTM. I will show you how to do that, but make sure that you don't hit Wi-Fi right now. Make sure you connect to it later, okay? So I'm going to apparently lose speech.
Task switching window. Network. Just a moment. At level 2.
Okay.
Micro. Connect now to quickly get start. Accessibility. Microsoft. Connect now to quickly get start. Continue with Windows setup. Just please review the license agreement.
I'm
Windows
just gonna
license agreement.
default to all these for now. I can review these later, but right now I'm just gonna say, yep, I want Microsoft to have everything.
Volume. Accessibility. Please review the license agreement. Windows setup. Just who's going to use this device?
Use this computer?
Enter your name. Edit. Name.
I'm just gonna enter Tay for now. And I'm going to make it lowercase. The reason being is if I'm using a terminal application, it's a lot easier for the name to be lowercase. Also, to not include spaces, because that will make you have to enter quotes for the terminal and so on and so forth. So I just typed in Tay because it's easier, and I'm just going to press enter. Tay lowercase.
Enter a password.
For now, I'm not going to enter a password. I'm just going to press enter.
Windows setup. Just choose privacy settings for your device.
Privacy settings.
Next.
Next.
Tab through all.
Next. Don't really want to have to go through all these right now.
Tab through all. Accessibility. Choose privacy settings. Next. Enter. Next. Tab through all privacy settings to continue enabled.
Okay, I gotta tab through all these. Okay.
Find my inking tailored advertise. Learn more. Accept all privacy settings. Button.
There we go.
Window.
So now we're gonna
getting your PC ready.
Your PC ready.
This might take a few minutes.
Don't
turn off your PC.
All right. So we're waiting for our PC to be ready. All right. So, do I have any chatters out there? Is anyone watching this video right now? If you are, that's great. If you're in the comments and you have any questions, this is a great time to ask because we're waiting for our VM to finish initializing, okay? So, do I have any questions in the chat? Is anyone watching? Feel free to...
Getting your PC ready.
Chat.
This might take a few minutes. Don't turn off your PC.
We're waiting for our narrator to indicate that our PC is ready to go, at which point we will do our next step, which is called our Ninite. So let me explain what Ninite is real quick. Ninite is a multi-app installer. And so what it does is Ninite allows you to install lots of different apps for different
Getting your PC
systems.
ready.
So what I mean by
this might take a few minutes.
Is you can basically
don't
select
turn off your
certain
PC.
apps, and you can have it install in one big installer. So you just go to this website, ninite.com, and you can, for example, say NVDA actually is in this Ninite list.
Start window,
and
search box, edit, type here to search.
Like Discord, and I've got a huge Ninite, and I've already created it because I didn't want to have to go through the hassle with y'all. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to actually run this Ninite and get some basics installed on our Windows VM. And we're going to configure our NVDA key and that kind of thing with Carabiner. Alright? So, it looks like our Windows 11 is finished. Let's escape this little startup startup wizard here. And let me make sure that my focus...
Task switching pane. Recycle bin.
Windows D. So, Windows recall is the command key. Now, let's say that I want to maximize this. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way up to the top with my voiceover on, and I'm going to hit full screen. I think my voiceover's on.
Toolbar. Minimize button.
Yep.
Full screen.
Now, my VM is taking up
space with UTM containing window work. Full screen space.
And another thing that I can do is I can do command and option. I can hold them down together, and I can lock focus in between my VM. So basically that way I can't accidentally go to my Mac by accident. Okay, so I can lock my focus. All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy my Ninite from my downloads folder onto my documents folder. That way I can get it onto this VM. But we've got one problem. Didn't I say we had a problem? That was indeed we don't have internet right now. So let's look at this. Watch.
Task search, task view, button, narrator don't show again, check box, desktop 1.
Wait.
Turn off narrator.
So I don't want to hear your sound.
File Explorer, notification chevron, button. Pane, recycle bin, taskbar pane, task view, widgets, chat, File Explorer, notification system volume state button speakers, system network state button no internet access no connections available.
No connections available. Uh-oh. That's a problem, isn't it? Yup. Alright, let's fix it. So, Spice Guest Tools. What we're going to have to do, I think
Zoom.us.
I'm going to have to...
Start window.
UTM.
Search.
Let's see.
UTM. Static. Running. ARC. Machine. Memory. 4 size. 10 point. Shared document. CD. Empty. Empty. CD/DVD. Pop-up button.
CD/DVD. So what you're going to do, you're going to find that with your Mac, and I'm going to be in the details pane. I'm going to press VO space on this.
Menu. Browse.
Browse, and I'm going to
CD/DVD pop-up button. In dialog, open list view table. back,
And
dim,
apparently,
back,
I'm
dim,
in
back,
Nowhere
dim,
Land.
back, dim,
Let me
for
get out of
list,
Nowhere
change the
Land.
item, documents, search text, sidebar, vertical, side, in, download, iCloud, down, out, list, Google Chrome.dmg, Spice Guest Tool 0.1, CD/DVD, pop-up button.
Okay, so I mounted my
New
Spice
notification from autoplay, CD drive,
There
D.
we go.
QEMU, select to
CD
choose
drive
what
D,
happens
so
with
I've
removable
got my-
drives.
Work window. Virtual machine, space with UTM containing window work.
I turned off voiceover, and that's a good
Recyc-
practice. Make sure you turn off your voiceover.
Task switching window.
And you can hear it's a lot louder now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my D drive to install the Spice Guest tools. That will enable us to get Wi-Fi and other OS drivers that are necessary for operation. So run dialog, Windows R, D colon,
D.
Spice
CD
Guest
drive. Spice Guest Tools.
Enter. Alt Y
User
for
account
the UIC.
Exit table. Spice Guest Tools
Alt N
installer
for
dial.
next.
Press page down to see the
I'm
rest
going
of
to do
the
Alt
agreement.
A to accept the agreement.
Spice Guest Tools
And I'm going to
installer.
wait. I'm going to wait until it says finish. After it's finished, it may want you to reboot the VM. But not the whole system, but the VM. So it's going to make you reboot the VM. Maybe. Let's see. Let me go.
CD drop. CD. Spice. Reboot now.
Reboot now. My VM is rebooting. So, folks, this is a great time to ask questions if you have any. Is anyone in chat or anyone have any questions at all? If you do, feel free to go ahead and put them in chat while our VM is rebooting. So maybe you're having trouble with something, maybe something's not working appropriately. I want to hear it. So feel free to raise your hand, go ahead, and I can be able to hopefully answer your questions. It looks like our VM is back. I heard the sound. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start narrator. Remember that's Command Control Enter on Mac.
Narrator dialog.
And
OK. Recycle bin.
I'm going to go check my Wi-Fi status.
Taskbar pane. Widgets. Chat. File Explorer. Notification chevron. Button. Pane. Pane. Show.
Oops.
Recycle bin. Taskbar pane. Task view. Widgets. Chat. File Explorer. Notification chevron. Button. Pane. Notificate pane. System volume state button speakers. System clock button 3. System notifications button no new notification. Show desktop button. System volume state. System network state button network internet access. Recycle
We've
bin.
got internet. It says network internet access. So that means that we've got internet. Okay. We're finally ready for a Ninite. So like I was saying a minute ago, the Ninite is basically a multi-app installer. So I've already got one ready for us. And I'm going to go ahead and put it in our directory. And that way I can go ahead and install all my apps. And we can continue with our next setup instructions, okay? Any questions?
Voiceover, Zoom.
First, though.
Doc.
Go find my Ninite.
Find.
Somewhere.
Side button. Recent application. Doc. Downloads. Out. Scroll. Google Chrome.d. Spice Guest Tool 0.100. UTM. Spice Guest Tool. UTM.dmg disk. Spice. Windows. Google Chrome.dmg disk image.
Anywhere here. Where's my Ninite? Where did I put it?
Side. In. Downloads. Documents. Out. Scroll area.
I don't know if I have my Ninite anywhere.
Vertical scroll area. In date out sidebar. Take in downloads. Arrow down circle image. iCloud down out scroll area. Windows 11 underscore Spice Guest Tool 0.utm.dmg disk image. Window Google Chrome.dmg disk image. Spotlight. Text edit cell 2 items. Finder. Downloads. Window. Scroll area.
I don't know
Doc.
where I put it.
Zoom.u voiceover Google Chrome UTM separator downloads trash 20 trap finder trash window applications alias applications 2 Carlton UTM Zoom.pk UTM Zoom.pkg install UTM application applications alias January
looks like I'll be creating an
close window Zoom. UTM
You are muted now.
Finder
Press
Finder
Shift
UTM
plus Command plus A to
Zoom.
unmute your microphone.
Alright, any chatters
Finder.
in the chat?
Google
Can
Chrome.
we go stop screen sharing for just a minute
Zoom.us
so I can create the Ninite, and I'm just gonna stop sharing the accessibility portion. So I'm just going to share the Alright. Let me make sure that we don't have any chat. No chat. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and create a Ninite. Let me reshare my screen. I'm not going to share my sound, though, for this portion because it's going to be kind of annoying. And I want to do this somewhat fast. So I'm going to go to Zoom. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And I love Zoom, folks, for streaming. It's great. Okay. I'm going to go to my Safari. Or, yeah. I'm going to type in Ninite.com, Ninite.com. I'm going to go to I'm going to check Chrome. Basically, there's a bunch of checkboxes, and I just check what I want included in my Ninite. So I want Chrome. I don't want Opera. Firefox, it wouldn't hurt to have it, especially for work, so I'm going to check it. Messaging, I don't need any of these for work. So I'm going to go next. iTunes, nope. Work, or I should say anything else, so nope. Java, nope. Let's see. I will need, however, the NVDA, as well as maybe some FileZilla and VS Code. Probably gonna get that. Probably be good for me. So we're gonna create this Ninite. I don't want Google Drive or Dropbox in this one because, like I said, I'll be sharing the folders back and forth. I'm gonna... NV Access, it's called. I'm gonna check this. Team Viewer wouldn't hurt, especially for work. I'm gonna check it. I don't want any of those. 7-zip, don't really need it. Python, I'm going to download that another way, so I'm not going to use that because that won't add it to my path. I will get FileZilla just in case I need it. Notepad++, I don't need it. I don't preferably like that. Eclipse, I don't need that. Visual Studio Code. Now I'm going to get my Ninite. So now it's going to download the Ninite, allow, and then I'm going to go put it in my documents. That way I can sync back and forth between my Windows and Mac, okay? So, alright. Any thoughts on the Ninite? Or any thoughts on anything else that I've covered? Is this making sense, folks? What do you think? You like it or do you hate it? What are you thinking? Let me share my screen before I get too much further here. Okay. Let me share my sound again.
Started screen share.
So simply,
Finder. Ninite Chrome FileZilla Firefox NVDA Team View. Copy. Ninite Chrome FileZilla. Sidebar table. Documents. Out. Scroll area. Paste item.
My documents.
Ninite Chrome FileZilla Firefox.
And I'm gonna go back to my VM. I'm going to turn voiceover off. That's key.
Recycle bin.
I'm going to go to my. Let's see, how do I do this?
Recycle bin.
I'm just gonna type in this
Start
PC.
Windows S. Reset this PC. Find results. Allow remote connection.
I should have actually.
Search window.
I should have just
Search
gone to
box.
File Explorer.
Recycle bin. Taskbar pane. Task view. Widgets. But chat. But File Explorer.
File Explorer.
File Explorer. Music. 5. Items view. Libraries. CD drive. Network, 6 of 9.
Network.
Control panel, recycle bin, Microsoft Edge, TE, 2 of 9. This PC. Folders,
then
music, devices. Network locations, 1. Group header, expanded. Dev www root, / localhost F9, items view, enter table items view, Ninite Chrome, Ninite Chrome,
we have a Ninite. We share
preparing setup, dialog, 0% progress bar, 0% progress bar, 92%, user account control,
for the UIC.
preparing Ninite dialog.
So I'm waiting for my Ninite to install, so it's going to install these applications that I specified. Here's NVDA startup sound.
Desktop window.
There we go. And it's done installing, so it just relaunched itself. So
Ninite dialog show details
narrator.
write
So I'm
feedback.
gonna go ahead and close narrator.
Exiting
Command,
narrator.
Control enter.
Folder view
NVDA is
list.
installed now.
Recycle bin not selected 1 of 3.
We've got NVDA is our first app installed. So our Ninite's working on it. Now let's say if we were going to try to press caps lock, what would happen?
Caps N. NVDA
Nope,
3 of
it
4.
doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Well, for one thing, because we don't have carabiner elements. So like I was saying earlier, carabiner is a package that will help emulate the caps lock key so it can be used for your insert key on NVDA for Windows. So right now if I try to press caps lock N for NVDA, first off, it's not on the desktop or the laptop layout. Secondly, we don't have carabiner. So we're going to go ahead and install carabiner. Now this process is a little bit tricky. So if you don't have it done right, it can be interesting. Okay? So make sure that you follow along with what I'm going to suggest you do. Link will be in the description below for carabiner. It's carabiner version 14. And that should be that. So let's go ahead and get carabiner installed. I think I already have it downloaded for us, so that way we don't have to go download it. All right. Because while we're waiting on our Ninite, we can go do things on the Mac side. So turn on VoiceOver.
VoiceOver on Find. Ninite Chrome Files. Firefox. NV. Out. Sidebar. Table. Documents. Document image. Spot Finder. Close window. Google Chrome. Volume. Doc. Trash. 20. Trash. Finder. Applications. Alias. Applications. Carl Binner Elements 14 point actions. Show menu. Open. Open with. Delete immediate. Empty. Open with. Submenu. App Store. Disk image mounter. Default. List. Zoom.p. Applications to alias. Genuine. Carl Binner Elements 14. Open. Alert. To use. OK. Default. To use this item. First drag it out of the OK. Trash window. Copy. Carl Binner Elements 14 point. Trash. Trash. Toolbar. In toolbar. Out. Sidebar. In. Air. Favorites. Expanded. 6 items include. Favorites. Air. App. Doc. iCloud. Out. Scroll area. Paste item. Carl Binner Elements 14. Open. Carl Binner Elements 14.3.0. Window. Icon. Carlbinner-elements.pkg. Open.
PKG.
Installer. Install Carl. Welcome to the Carl Binner Elements 14. Introduction. Desk installation. Some image. Tap. Go. Continue. Button. Change install. Text. Go. Install. Button. Continue. Password application. Untitled. System. Installer. Install Carl Binner Elements 14.3.0. Window. Continue. Dim. Button.
Our installation is complete.
Close. In dot to keep. Move to trash.
Move to trash.
Close.
I don't need that package anymore. And now let's see what we're
close window. Google Chrome. Google Chrome volume.
For system dialog.
Actions available.
So VO Shift F2 F2.
Desktop.
Wait.
UTM volume. Desk window chooser menu.
F2 F2 F2.
Go system dialog. System dialog.
Okay, hold on.
In Finder. UTM volume.
VO
Actions
F2
available.
F2.
Desk window chooser menu. Go system dialog. Empty. System. In empty.
Okay.
System dialog. Spotlight. Safari cell 2 items.
Carabiner.
Completion. Application. The program. OK. The program. Carl Binner Virtual HID Device Manager. Try to load new system extension S. If you want to enable these extensions, open security and privacy system preferences. OK. Open security preferences. Application. System preferences. Loading security and privacy.
These system extensions working.
File. Require. After. Set. You allow App Store and identify developers. System software. Allow. Click the lock to make changes. Help button. Touch ID or enter your password to allow this. Help button. Advanced. Click the lock to allow button.
Allow.
Click the lock to prevent further changes. button.
So I have to allow the software from them.
App Store and
That way
identify
it can
developers.
run.
Click the lock to prevent further change. Help
changes.
button.
That way I can lock it. And I'm going to press Command W.
Application. Carlton relevance preferences. Window chooser menu. System dialog. Carlton. Simple modif. Function keys. Tab.
And
2 of 8.
I don't think we need more.
Devices. Virtual keyboard. Tab. Profiles. Misc. Tab. Log. Target. For all devices. Table. Hit to key. From key. Caps underscore lock pop-up.
Now, you will have to hit add new modification. So you'll have to do caps lock to insert. I've already done that modification. So that will not be needed for me. Another thing you're going to have to do is go under system preferences. And you're going to go under keyboard, modifier keys, and make sure the caps lock has no action. So let's do that together.
Spotlight.
So
Spotlight. Search application. Search text field. Blank.
Okay.
Search text field. Blank. Out. Close. Zoom. Toolbar. Hit forward. Show. Search text field. Blank. Close. Close button. System preference. Close button. Close button. Application. To key. Insert. Remove button. Finder. Desktop. Spot key Y B A find system search text field search out key text tab dictate key delete 80 off fast long short adjust turn 5 seconds event touch app control show can press showing press show F1 use F1 when this up change key custom modify setup
Here we go.
In dialog for each carabiner drop for caps lock key caps lock menu
Caps lock. I'm gonna say
no
do
action.
Nothing. So no action.
Caps lock
We don't want
key
that to do
pop up
anything,
button.
because that way it will conflict with the Mac caps lock and we won't have problems. So
Okay button.
Okay.
Modifier keys button.
I'm gonna Command W or Command Q.
Finder.
I'm
Desktop.
gonna do VO F2.
Window chooser. Go. System dialog. Empty. System
I'm just making
empty.
sure that
System
I don't have
dialog.
any dialogues.
Content is empty. UTM. CD/DDD
I
pop-up
think I
button.
actually do.
Window chooser. UTM. Work. System dialog. Untitled. From CP. Empty. System.
Okay. Okay. So
Empty.
sometimes
System
I may
dialog.
have more
Content
dialogues
is empty.
that come up, but for now we're okay. So let's go ahead and test out our changes and make sure it worked.
UTM.
I'm gonna do
Work.
Command right arrow to get into the VM.
Voiceover off.
I'm gonna go to my Google Chrome.
Folder view list. NVDA 5 of 7.
Before I do that,
N.
I don't have an NVDA key. Why not? Well, I don't think that we set caps lock to be an NVDA modifier key, did we? Nope. So in order to do that, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go to the system tray, and you're going to have to go to NVDA and make sure you set that as a modifier key for the caps lock key. So what
Search
you're
toggle
do
task
is,
view widgets toggle button, chat toggle button, file explorer 1, notification chevron button.
Chevron.
System network state button, network internet notification system volume state button, system clock button 4:01 p.m. system notifications button, no new notification, show desktop button, system notification chevron button.
I have to click notification chevron.
System volume state button, speak system clock button 4:02 system notifications button, no new notification, show desktop
Where's my NVDA?
System volume state button, system network state button, network notification chevron button. Space. Overflow notification area toolbar. NVDA button. NVDA preferences exit X. Speech dictionary settings.
I could also restart NVDA, and that's another way I could get the dialogue. And basically what I'm looking for is that welcome dialogue that says welcome to NVDA, and you can set some basic preferences. I'm going to go to keyboard.
Speech 2 of 13, Braille 3 of 13, Vision 4 of 13, Keyboard 5 of, Keyboard proper, Laptop.
Laptop layout.
Select NVDA modifier keys list. Caps lock checkbox not checked.
Caps lock is not checked.
Space. Numpad insert checkbox checked.
Numpad insert checked.
Insert checkbox checked.
Insert checked. So we want all three of these.
Speak type. Category. Apply. Cancel button. Apply button. Space.
And then okay.
Pressed.
Okay.
Apply button. Alt. Cancel button. OK button.
Now, let's see what we've got now, if it'll work now.
Folder view list, N.
Okay, no. Why not?
N.
Well.
Button.
Let's see.
Start talk. N.
I'm wondering, we need to make sure our carabiner set up
Start
properly.
window.
So I've had a lot of problems with carabiner.
Search box.
Google Chrome. Zoom.us. Zoom.us. Spotlight. Zoom. Application.
We're gonna get this resolved.
Complex devices. Profiles. Virtual keyboard. Tab. Devices. Tab. 4 of 8. Window chooser. Zoom. In system dial. System dialog. Untitled. From CPT host. System dialog. In system dialog. Window chooser. In system dialog. Content is empty. System dialog. Untitled. From system dialog. Carabiner elements preferences. Carabiner elements devices tab profile lock target for table add item button.
So it looks like we need to figure out why we're not getting this.
Application chooser zoom.us Chrome menu Finder menu Safari menu UTM closing application Siri button Zoom share toolbar window chooser menu Zoom share status Zoom share status system dialog in system dialog in empty system dialog content is empty Finder desktop UTM work window application.
Now another reason why your voice or your NVDA
folder view N
because your voiceover's on.
N.
Now my voiceover's off right now, so that is a no-go.
NVDA 5 of 7.
Let's figure out what happened. So let me go ahead and let's see.
N.
And again, this is exactly why I don't recommend reinstalling Carabiner and getting back into it.
Pinned list.
Sometimes you can't get NVDA.
Work window. Work toolbar. Pause button. Stop button. Pause out of toolbar. Finder.
Is I'm going to go
Finder
into
desktop in system dialog. System dialog. In empty system dialog. Content is empty.
So I'm gonna go open the Carabiner.
Spot K A application in device virtual profile devices selected misc log basic and advanced tab table. It can modify events from this device. Apple internal keyboard / trackpad caps lock LED manipulate LED checkbox. Vendor ID 1452 product ID 800 type keyboard 18 point modify events from this device. Apple internal keyboard / trackpad Apple Inc. Dim caps lock LED manipulate LED out and log misc tab profiles virtual keyboard tab 5 of 8.
Okay, so why can't I get my NVDA key?
Devices, complex modification, function keys, tab, simple modifications, selected, misc log, target for all devices, table, from key, caps _ lock pop-up button, to remove button, to key,
so
remove
button,
empty
I'm gonna go ahead and add the
table.
modification again. That way I can
for all add item
it.
button.
So add item.
Add item button, table,
and then
to key, pop-up button, from key, pop-up menu,
caps lock.
see, caps _ lock, caps to key, caps _ lock pop-up button,
I'm gonna do insert,
menu,
so I'm
check mark,
insert.
Insert, remove, out, add item button.
And then we'll
add for all device table from remove button from key pop-up button to key remove button table.
So now I re-added it.
Virtual devices tab 4 of 8. No notifications space with UTM contain voiceover off.
Search win N.
Okay.
Folder view N.
That didn't work too well.
N.
So let's see.
Firefox NVDA 5 of 7.
So sometimes, let me make sure that my settings got configured. And now I've got
welcome to NVDA. Use caps lock as an NVDA modifier key checkbox checked Alt plus U.
I'm going to recheck it.
Space. Checked. Start NVDA after space.
After I log on.
Checked.
Check.
Show this dialog when
space.
OK button.
Okay.
NVDA usage data. Yes button Alt. No button Alt plus N.
I'm just going to do yes.
Yes. Folder view list N.
Okay. Now we don't have an NVDA key yet. So, okay. Again, this is all about troubleshooting. Why is my NVDA key not working? Okay. NVDA, actually, Carabiner. We've tried. Let's see. We've tried Carabiner stuff.
N.
That has been fine.
Start window.
Voice devices tab. Start window chooser. System dialog. Untitled. From system dialog in system dialog.
I'm going to make sure that all the preferences are checked
empty
for
system
Carabiner.
C S
Sometimes the preferences are checked.
S M application system preferences Taylor Arndt Apple ID image Apple family sharing Taylor system preferences toolbar zoom dim tool search text field blank U-R system preferences Saker out system Taylor Apple ID image Apple family preference Siri spot language notification internet passwords wallet and users and accessibility screen time extensions security soft
I'm having some weird issues.
Window user system dialog untitled from system dialog security and privacy current security and system empty empty system dialog content is empty.
I'm wondering if I have to restart something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to restart Carabiner because I'm wondering, I'm having some like weird keyboard issues, and at one point I had to actually identify the keys on my keyboard. So I was like, hey, what's the key to the right of the caps lock key? And it made me identify it. So let me make sure that that's not what's happening. I'm going to restart voiceover off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to
voiceover on in system dialog content is empty.
I'm going to go
window
to
chooser in system dialog in system preferences file require set you allow app store and identify allow apps downloaded from app click the locks help button advanced click the lock to make Carabiner elements Devices. Virtual profiles. Tab. MISC. Tab.
I'm gonna
Log.
go to
MISC.
MISC.
Selected. 14.3. Restart. Quit carabiner element. Restart carabiner elements button. Quit update. Check for updates. Check for updates. Check for beta. Uninstall. Uninstall. System default. You can use carabiner element. Copy the current configuration. System default. Menu bar. Show icon and menu. Show profile name and menu bar. Extra tool. Open carabiner multi-touch extension app button. Websites. Open official website button. Open GitHub. Source code. Export and import. Open config folder. Open config. Export and import. Extra. Show menu bar. System default. You can use system. Uninstall uninstall. Check for beta updates. Check for update. Update. Quit carabiner. Restart carabiner element. UTM application. Carabiner elements preferences window. Complex device. Virtual keyboard tab. Window choose. System dialog. Untitled. From system dialog. Carabiner elements preferences. Current. Carabiner virtual keyboard. UTM. UTM. Work. Window chooser. System empty. Empty. System dialog. Content is empty. Finder. Desktop. UTM. Quit UTM. Quitting UTM. OK. Default. Finder. Desktop. Zoom.us. Audio submenu. Zoom. Window chooser. Zoom share toolbar window. System dialog. Empty. Empty. System dialog. Content is empty.
Okay.
Night sky.
So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a minute, folks.
Google Chrome.
I'm having some weird system dialogues.
Zoom.us.
That I can't get rid of.
Zoom.us.
So this can happen from time to time. And basically the reason is that okay. Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is reshare my screen, making sure that I don't have any I just want to make sure I don't have any system dialogues. So, let's share the sound. And I'm going to go restart my
window. System dialog. Mute button. Group. Your system preferences. Cell to Zoom.us. Finder. Desktop. Zoom.us. Currently muted. Currently unmuted. Spotlight. Spotlight. Zoom.utm. UTM window. Table. Has keyboard focus. Table. Work. Out. Scroll area. Scroll. Vertical. Scroll. Run button.
Run.
UTM window.
Run my
Toolbar.
VM.
UTM window. Virtual machine. Capture input. To capture input or to release the capture, press command and option at the same time.
Desktop window. Taskbar.
I'm going to shut up voiceover.
Voiceover off.
Start window.
And I'm going to pray to God
N.
that I have an NVDA key.
Folder N. Fire NVDA 5 of 7.
Okay, I do not have an NVDA key.
Chat toggle button.
Start
Let's see,
toggle
button not 1.
No, that's not even
Folder view list 1.
Okay, so
widget chat toggle file explorer.
What I'm gonna have to do
notification
is
folder view notification overflow notification area toolbar. Safely remove hardware NVDA button. NVDA preferences sub
set, go to my
speech
settings.
Speech diction settings NVDA speech 2 of 13 general property page NVDA language category speech vision 4 of 13 keyboard 5 of keyboard property page keyboard layout combo box laptop collapse
that's good.
Desk laptop select numpad insert checkbox checked caps lock checkbox checked insert checkbox checked speak type speech inter allow skim beep if typing lower place handle key OK cancel button apply button up space
everything looks okay.
Press, apply button up N.
Okay. So everything looks okay. So what I'm going to have to do probably is reinstall the carabiner driver because I'm not getting all my permissions. Because everything looks okay on my end.
Start window. Search window.
Voiceover on Zoom.us. Oliver. Spotlight. Spotlight search.
Hey Doug, welcome to the stream.
Completion selected. Spotlight search.
Okay. So Doug's here. We're doing some Windows and VM action. It's great. So what we're going to have to do is reinstall carabiner driver. So carabiner.
C A U T application.
Carabiner is a pain in the butt.
Simple function key.
I wish I didn't have to
minimize Profile. MISC tab.
I'm gonna go
Profiles.
to
MISC
MISC.
tab. Select 14. Quick update. Check for uninstall. Uninstall car inner elements button. System default. You can use copy the current system default menu bar. Show icon. Open websites. Open official show menu. System copy. You can use system uninstall. Check for beta updates. Uninstall car inner elements button. Check for updates button. Check for update. Quit carabiner. Restart car. 14 point. Carabiner log tab. MISC. Select profiles tab. Virtual keyboard devices tab. Virtual selected.
Keyboard. What's in here?
Country code 0%. Warning 18. You usually mouse key. You usually don't need to change the country code value. XY speed 110%. Stick indicate sticky modifier key state default on checkbox.
Okay, so let me go check
Spotlight.
the caps lock key.
Spotlight search window.
The carabiner seems
UTM.
fine.
Work. Open app. Close.
But let me go check the
work window. Zoom dot opening zoom dot mute button. Opening voiceover user guide. Zoom button. Close. Zoom dot US. Zoom share toolbar window.
Let me go check
dialog.
the
Mute spotlight. E Y.
Let me check the keyboard
access. Keychain access
here.
window. Toolbar. Zoom dot US.
The
Spotlight.
keyboard.
E Y. Zoom system search text.
Sometimes it didn't do what I told it to do.
Show emote prep. Use F when change key custom modifier setup
Modifier.
Carabiner for each caps lock, no action, caps lock,
No
caps
action,
lock,
good.
Control, option, command, globe, restore, cancel button.
I'm gonna restore to the defaults.
Cancel, okay button.
And I'm gonna hit OK.
Modifier keys.
And then I'm gonna
button.
try it again. So just
Cancel, okay, but okay, caps for each carabiner, caps, control, caps lock,
Caps lock.
control, check, no globe. No action.
No action.
Control, command, globe, restore, cancel button, okay button. Modifier key.
Hit OK.
Setup, help button.
And I'm gonna try this again. Make sure NVDA or voiceover's off. Get in my VM. And apparently I can't even get my VM at the moment.
Schedule topic. Date and time. Mute button. Group. System. UTM. Work window. Virtual machine. Opening voiceover user guide.
That's
Voiceover
not
off.
good. Okay.
N.
Trying to get in my VM at the moment. It's not working.
Button. Desktop list. N.
Okay, so let me try command and option.
N.
I was able to get this to work, folks.
NVDA 5 of 7.
But
N.
I'm not sure.
N.
Why this isn't working.
Windows user menu. UTM. System dialog. Voiceover user guide. System dialog. Untitled. From CPT host. System dialog. In system dialog. Content is in empty. System dialog.
Another thing that I may try after this tutorial is restarting. But, folks, this is how we can get an NVDA key. If we can actually get an NVDA key. Right?
System preferences. UTM.
So,
work window.
What I'm going to do
Capture input.
NVDA G.
is I'm going to go to my Google
Chrome 4
Chrome.
of 7.
Now, an issue I've had before is I can't use my keyboard in my Google Chrome. I can't get headings.
Untitled
The way I
Google
fixed
Chrome.
that was...
Document busy blank.
I can't get headings still. The way I fixed that was having to do the keyboard identification. But in order to get to that screen, I had to actually restart my computer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually end stream here, folks. I'm probably going to make a better quality video of how to do this later on. But at least we've got it pretty much set up. And now you have a VM where you can use the NVDA modifier keys and that kind of thing. So hopefully this was helpful. If you want any more of this, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And we've been able to get a VM fully configured. So I'll let you know what comes out of this, folks. But this has been a great stream, and we'll talk soon.
Zoom.us.